Welcome back, everyone, to the Temple of Technology. I'm your host, Scott James Magner, the idiot with a microphone. I'll throw that up here on the screen so everyone can see it. Idiot with a microphone. And you're watching this on Twitch, later on YouTube. So there's a few things that we want to get done and out of the way, one of which is cross-promoting. So we're going to do that right now. And I'm going to get, yeah, there we go. I get that shareable link, right? Copy that link. Link copied. All right, that's what we want to do. And we're done with that web page for a little bit. So I have been working on improving my technical skills for a while. Specifically, I've been working on making DVD inserts for my DVDs. I have a lot of DVDs. I won't put too fine a point of it. I have thousands upon thousands of DVDs up on the wall downstairs. In fact, you've seen my background every so often. It's Temple of Technology. Let me throw that up here now so you can see exactly what we're talking about. I'll turn my camera off briefly. All right. So this is an older picture of downstairs in the casa. This is the shelves that I have and the TV, all stuff that I've accumulated over years of working for a living and making decent money while I was working. But I have a lot of DVDs up there on the shelf, a lot of them. And I have so many, in fact, that they will not fit on the shelves if I do not place them from one case into a smaller case. Now, I've talked before on these streams about moving things from 14 millimeter cases to 6 millimeter cases and the know-how that requires. So I don't always have that know-how. I'm an idiot with a microphone. It's just so right there on the screen. So today we are not only the idiot with a microphone, we are going to be making Bettah DVD inserts. I've even lost count of how many of these videos I've done. But I've done a bunch, and I'm probably going to do more as I learn more stuff, as I level up my technical acumen. I make myself a better person by learning things. At least that's what I hope I'm doing. So this is technically a reboxing stream, not an unboxing stream, but I'm going to go to the unboxing room to do this. So let's hit that right now. You see the unboxing camera was deployed off here to the side. Camera 2 where we stay classy is on. And I've got this on an arm, and all I have to do is move it into place, like so. And you can see my favorite tool in the universe right there. My second favorite tool in the universe right here is my Swiss Army knife. Get a lot of use out of that in the last decade or more that I've had it. In fact, shit, I think I've had that thing coming up on 20 years. And I've had to replace a couple things, namely the battery and the flashlight on it. But I've done some things. And a strong contender is my paper cutter. I use this every day. And how I use it, you'll see in a bit. But I cut a lot of paper. A lot of paper. I was worried that the blade was failing on me and getting dull. That's not true. It turns out that I had forgotten how to cut paper, and you have to keep a decent amount of pressure on the paper for the whole process to work. So I'm going to put this off to the side. We'll come back to this in a bit. I want to talk really fast about what this means to rebox things and to make inserts. In fact, I gotta turn that stream title on, right? Keep forgetting to turn this on and all my things. There we go, making Bettah DVD inserts. For those who don't know, Bettah is Hawaiian pigeon, meaning exemplary or excellent or outstanding. And that's my goal. I want to make really good DVD inserts, or case inserts. It should say case inserts, but DVD is something that people understand and they can relate to, making DVD inserts. All right. To illustrate this, in my previous videos, you've seen me taking stuff out of stuff, taking the cases out of DVD cases, taking the inserts rather out of DVD cases. They typically are plastic. They've got, I can just show you. This is a Blu-ray case here. It's nice and shiny. It's got a decent spine. This is a 12 millimeter spine rather than a 14 millimeter spine that DVDs have. This is a Blu-ray case. And they have a nice solid action. Typically got clips in here for stuff. This is a double, but they're on the same footprint. And this is what it looks like. I know what I'm doing, I swear. This is what it looks like when there's a case insert in one of these cases. Now you see why I didn't start off with this, because these cases are very shiny. And to do these videos, I need to have lights on myself, but also in the room that I can see. This one I have to do in the afternoon. So you can see all this information about the thing. And this is typically a sales technique. So in the store, you can look at the front. You can see things on the spine if things are, faced out, or not faced out, but if they're spine out. And then here's all the technical information about the disc that you can look at and say, oh, I want these things. Or I saw this in a theater, or I didn't see this in a theater. These things are going to be on the disc, right? You can see there at a glance that when it's shiny, the special features aren't visible. So what you want to do really fast is take it out of the case, and it's still not visible. It's very shiny, right? You can't really see what's going on here a lot of times, and you want to see that on the case. You want to pick this up, look for something to watch, and get that information. So the video doesn't pick it up as much because you're far away. And I keep it at this focus length so you can see my favorite tool in the universe, you can see my hands, and we actually look like we know what the fuck we're doing. We don't. The text is still tiny. You can sort of pick it up here in the picture. And the reason why I bring that up is because in the previous video, I had related how I come to an epiphany, a realization that I could use this unboxing camera as an HD camera, essentially as an HD scanner, when things weren't working the best way in the scanner. The scanner works as a photocopier, and it works by shining a very bright light on something and capturing the reflection on its imaging diodes. What this means is, for particularly shiny things, it captures the shine, and that's bad. You don't want that in an image. You don't want that shine sitting out there. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. One is to go find someone who's a lot better at scanning than I am. Get one of their color-corrected images and use that for your process. But that's not. I'm an idiot with a microphone. I want to use the stuff that I own, the stuff that I have, and make things work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over here. Oh, no, we're not going to do that just yet. So I take this image, this piece of paper here. I take this piece of paper, I scan it or take an image of it, and I put it into my image processing software. I was using Paint for a lot of years because I didn't think I was smart enough for Photoshop. I still don't think I'm smart enough for Photoshop, but I'm smart enough to watch YouTube tutorials, which, there's a lot of them out there. And there's a lot of people just like me who care about learning things and sharing their knowledge. And so we're going to do that. And in previous videos, I made a pretty cool double insert for this movie, the 10,000 BC movie, which I have never seen, mind you. I got the Blu-ray as part of a lot. It was an interesting Blu-ray. I liked it. And then on a swap, where I took one of my DVDs, swapped it for another DVD, I got, instead of, this is a great story. Instead of, and I know I'll be mocked and I'll be judged for this, but I don't care. Instead of this, instead of the Best of Chris Kattan DVD from Saturday Night Live, which, you know, it's very nice. You can see it here. What was right here was 10,000 BC. A movie I didn't need because I already had a Blu-ray copy, right? And so I let them know, hey, you sent me the wrong thing. And I was willing to swap it back and arrange for the thing I actually wanted. But they decided to just give me not only the credit that I'd spent on it, but another credit for my trouble. Okay, no problem. So what I did when I had all this squared away is I first made a copy of, I first made a nice shiny copy of the 10,000 BC DVD case from a downloaded scan. And then I was going to swap this online, and I realized I have all of these movies in my collection where I have both an HD copy and a DVD copy. I might as well start doing that for Blu-rays too, in addition to how I do that for HD DVDs. And so I decided to make a double, nice double. And on previous things, you've seen me essentially manipulate the image, the shiny image of this, into a background, a nice blue background with the Blu-ray logo on it. All right, so you know what it is. And I was pretty happy with the results, right? It sat in the case really well. It held 2 discs because I used double discs. And I was happy with that. I just hadn't shelved it yet. And I realized a few days ago, the reason I hadn't shelved it yet is that I was not, in fact. I wasn't happy with how that had turned out. While the blue up here was great, I was having problems with some of the scans that I was doing of these HD inserts, this smaller insert here, right? Where they wouldn't line up properly on the shelf. And that means a lot to someone like me, that it just, well, I am not neurotypical. I am as diverse neurologically as you can get. I have a brain injury, which makes me obsess about things. For example, obsess about DVD case inserts, which nobody but me will ever see, unless, of course, you're watching one of these videos. You will never see this. You will never come to my house and just scan my shelves and go, oh, what a beautiful DVD case insert you did. I say, thanks, I made it myself. You'll never do that because A, nobody comes by here because there's a frickin' plague on, but B, the only people who care about this is me. But I know that it exists. I know it's there. And I wasn't happy with how this was lining up consistently across all the conversions I was doing. I wasn't happy with the blue. I even wasn't happy with this logo, which is a really nice logo, right? It's a high quality logo, but I printed it in a blue rather than using my image manipulation software to print this in white. And so then I got to thinking that I had sampled this color blue from one of these. I sampled it from one of the cases. In fact, this right here, where my finger is, that's the color blue that I used to sample to make this color blue. And it's not exactly the same because of how things come up, but I wanted it to look like a Blu-ray case. I wanted the HD DVDs to look like HD DVD cases. And in quest for this perfection, it occurred to me that I could make it look exactly like a Blu-ray case if I did another scan. We're going to go to monitor 2 now. I turn off the stream cam. We're going to go to monitor 2. This is Gimp. Gimp is a open source version of Photoshop. It is not Photoshop. There are a lot of tutorials about Gimp, just like there are a lot of tutorials about Photoshop. But once you download this and install it and you get to know it, you don't pay again. And people who've had Photoshop for a long time, they don't pay either. They've got it. They've got a version that works for them, and it works all the way around. But learning to make these piece inserts helps me in my publishing business because now I can manipulate art for my website. I pay art for covers. I'm not a graphic designer. I pay graphic designers to make book covers for me. But if I need to make a tiny change, right? Adjust the size or resize things for my website, we can do that. In fact, I could show you here. I have a website, an e-commerce website. I'm going to pull it up here right now. artsentertainment.com. So I realized that on this page, the home page for artsentertainment.com, if I can get to the home page for this. No, it's not what we want. You idiot with a microphone, you. Yeah. So this was my landing page for, this is my landing page for the website. And all of these book covers were different sizes. And it was annoying to me that they were all different sizes because I wanted them to line up. I wanted things to look pretty. And I wanted them to be accessible to a quick viewer all the way around. But worse than that, I thought this was my store page. For 3 years, I thought this was my store page. And this is the blog page for artsentertainment.com. It is not the store page, even though you can put your products here on this. And you see it got the nice animations, right? When you know what you're selecting. This is the blog page. This is where I introduce authors. This is where I talk about things, promotions that are going on. I thought this was my home page and the shop page, but it's not. artsentertainment.com/shop is that page. When I got here, I realized that not only could I use Gimp to make all of these book covers the same size, but I could also make pages, shop pages, where you could see all of the products, right? And they would all look nice together. And so this is the container page for the Transgenic Wars, right? My science fiction series. It's got all the books here. You can buy all the books. You can see, of course, if you want Homefront, this book right here, my 2014 novel that's kicked off all the work I've done in this universe, you get the ebook for free on my website, right? So I needed a page where you go and see this and get it for free. But these books, these awesome books, they weren't getting justice on this webpage because they were all different sizes and they looked all the way around here. So I'm hosting my friend Julie's books. You've seen Julie on So Here's the Deal with Me. I'm hosting her books here on the website, right? So if you want to buy her books, not on Amazon, so most of the money goes straight to her. Right here is where they are, right? You can see all of her great covers that she has done. I made these all the same size, so they fit here on this, and you can go and buy all these books as well. In fact, if you want to, you could just put ones in all of this, buy all these books. No one's going to fault you. Julie would really appreciate it, and so would I, for that matter. artsentertainment.com/shop, and I'll put the links to all of this in the video afterwards. All right, but now that these are all the same size, I can do a lot more with it, and that made me really happy. So, emboldened by learning to use the image manipulation software, I decided that I could do more. I could do more stuff. And what I did was I made a scan of a Blu-ray case, and then I stretched it out. I stretched it out to cover all of this printable space that I would normally get on a piece of paper. And lo and behold, this is in fact the exact case that I scanned. And I got a white Blu-ray logo rather than the Blueberry logo. In fact, I had this exact same logo. I just colored it white because you could do that with this program. And if I want to, for example, make a pretty insert, all I gotta do is I gotta go and open up a layer of one of these scans that I've made. For example, I'm gonna get here for a scan that I made just today. Now here's a nice scan I did earlier today. It's a raw scan, just came straight off the scanner. We don't want it to look like this, so we're gonna crop it. Shift-C using the crop tool. And then we can move that around. Obviously, this is an HD DVD and not a regular DVD, and not a Blu-ray, but the process is the same, and we'll go over this process in just a moment. Now we're going to scale it up, and in addition to scanning this in and making a backdrop that I like, I also put guidelines in here, because the software lets you snap things. Look at that, it just snapped right into place. Lets you snap things to guidelines. And lo and behold, I've got a very nice, oh, this one isn't quite the way I want it. You want to snap that to the guideline, right? Now I've got a really nice looking, a pretty thing there that's got Blu-ray logo. It's got all this on, and so when you combine that with the other knowledge that we've got, put the stream cam back on, you get something that looks a lot like this for 10,000 BC. You can see the two discs here. The one I got off the very shiny disc that I got off the swap site, the Blu-ray disc, the interior that you saw earlier on the other one. I use the same interior. There's no reason not to. Here is exactly what you just saw, how it turns out in the end. It's nice and pretty. It's got the pretty shiny paper. I use a Koala photo printer for inkjets. Very nice. And this I am happy about. This I am proud of. I can look at this and say, I did that. I made this pretty thing. So happy, in fact, that I'm probably going to be sharing these guideline templates with people in the custom insert community, because I'm very proud of the knowledge that I gained and how I learned it. Not only am I making videos about it, but I'm making physical objects about it. So with that in mind, I went and I redid a huge stack there. That stack on the end is a big stack of stuff. In fact, I'll pick up that stack, move it over here so you can see just how many of these I have remade in the last few days. That's a lot, right? A whole bunch of these things. And this ranges from, I'll move this over here to the side, very easy things, right? It's Master and Commander. It's a very easy manipulation. Now this one has the Blu-ray expanded up, the Blu-ray cover insert expanded up, and I got a nice custom insert in the back. Because the DVD was a 2-disc set, I didn't need, I felt, to do that. So I got a very pretty bit of art for the interior and used that. So this is a 4-up 14mm case, because I've got giant ass book that came with the DVD. There was this basic insert, and then there was this book, right? It really was a deluxe set. I want to keep all of those things. I like my physical media collection. I like that stuff. So with this knowledge that I've got, this new process, I'm happy to see this on the shelf. I'm proud of it. Here's an HD DVD that we did the same way. In fact, this one I had to do a little bit extra processing for, because these are shiny bits. These are scans that pick up the shiny. And so I have a template that of someone who's really good at graphic design. They separated out all the elements and recolored them to make sure that I could do this properly. I stretched it out, good to go. I've got the DVD interior. I didn't actually have a DVD case for this. I had to download one off the internet from another person who'd done the scans, but it fits great in here. I did the same process. I put the DVD on one of these backdrops. I printed it out, and we've got all this. So I had so much fun, in fact, doing all this process. Here's both 300 movies in this nice custom case that somebody did, and including the double disc DVD, the HD DVD here, a shiny HD DVD, the Blu-ray of 300, and then the Blu-ray of 300 Rise of Empire, right? So I get it all in one spot. Instead of, this would have been 4 different spines, right? It's been an HD DVD spine, a DVD spine, and a Blu-ray spine, plus a second Blu-ray spine. That would have been four spines. That would have been, well, I don't have to put too fine a point on it. It would have looked like this. That's how much space that collection would take on the shelf. That many spines, and now it's just down to this one, right? It's a huge savings, a huge space savings when you look at the process and what it means to me. In fact, this is the HD DVD case that I scanned to do exactly the same thing for HD DVD case inserts and red stuff. I took the plastic cover off using my second favorite tool in the universe right here. And I cleaned up the image a little bit, and that looks like this. Yeah, throw that away. Discard those changes. I don't care about those changes. Come on now, you can do this. I know you can. It looks like this. Pretty simple, right? But it's the same guidelines. It uses the same general template I did for other stuff. And it's quite useful. So you might think to yourself, how can you afford all of this ink and all this paper? Well, I can't. But as an entertainment expense is what I'm happy to pay. I want to make sure that I don't go crazy locked in my house over and over again, and that I can provide something of value to myself and to my friends. So that's it. So we keep this one. We keep this because someday I may want to do something with it. This we're going to recycle. This is the one that I made. And to give you an idea of what that looks like for the HD DVD, this is a nice stripped down one here with the nice HD DVD logo and the guidelines. This is I can pull it up here. Yeah. This is the one that I'd done before. No guidelines. I was just eyeballing it, right? I would move the image into this document, and I would line it up with this bottom red level, and then I would center it. And the results were all over the place. They weren't exact. They didn't do really what I wanted them to do. And I ended up, saving over this so many different times, having to back it all out. So in fact, I printed out a lot of these in the last few days. So much so that I had to order new paper. The new paper will be here today. And I've got new ink coming. Hopefully today, probably in a couple of days. I finally resolved all this ink dilemma, sort of, with HP and their instant ink program. Shouldn't run out of ink again, but I might. Who knows? But with new paper and new ink, I decided to reprint a lot of the stuff that I've done over the last few weeks. Because the paper can be recycled and the ink's already been used, it's not an issue. But that means that with all that in mind, I needed to redo some of the image scans because I had used them with, I'd taken pictures using this stream cam, the unboxing camera. I'd taken pictures using the unboxing camera, and I was just using those flat out there because I didn't really care what they looked like. In fact, they kind of look like shit, to be perfectly honest. So these are results of 3 of them that I did. The fronts look okay, but they're kind of uneven here on the bottom. And this text is unreadable. And this text, there's so much of it, it's mostly unreadable. This text is very readable. All right, of the 3 of these, I'm happiest with Flags of Our Fathers, as you saw earlier. I had a new scan of it this morning to do for this all. But they've got. I was happy enough to put these on the shelf and nobody has to look at them. I have to look at them and I have to think about it. And I was really happy with how this turned out when I didn't know any better, but now I am not so happy with it because I know better, a little bit better. So I've got about 7 pieces of this pretty glossy koala paper left, which is enough for me to do 4 more of these inserts if I screw a couple up. And then I'll get new paper this afternoon. So then I can go on and do even more until my ink runs out. Then I'll take a break until my new ink shows up, and then I'll make some more. I'm going to go through, I'm going to redo the ones I've already done. I'll be set up and ready to go the next batch of obsessive compulsive theater. So that's that would normally be a stream right there, that half an hour. But this is an arts and crafts stream. This is me doing stuff. And we're going to do some stuff. We are going to go make these images again. All right. So remember this here? This is my palette. I like this palette. We're going to not screw around with that. I'm going to close this in case I save over it by accident. I have a backup. I'm not an idiot. Well, actually, I am an idiot. But I have a backup specifically for that because of the number of times that I have saved an image straight over that and had to back that image out. We're going to go for a new scan I did today. I scanned 4 things in today. But the first one up is, in fact, that Flags of Our Father, which should be here somewhere. I just did it. It should be here. Oh, come on. The hell, dude? Did it get saved here by mistake? In fact, this is what that looks like when you save over your file by mistake. It looks like this. Right. Resent, there it is. I don't know why it wasn't showing up. All right. So starting with a scan, we're going to repeat that process again. We're going to crop it using the crop tool, which is Shift-C in Gimp. And then normally I would go for the full image here and get all of the art and then manipulate it around. But I don't care if it's just a little bit off. And in fact, because oh my kid, we're gonna do this. All right. So now we're gonna use the perspective tool, which is Shift-P in Gimp. We're just going to drag this image until it matches the boundaries of the original scan, like so, and then we'll crop it again. And this gives us a true, mathematically precise image. We're going to center that up because that sort of thing's important. All right, we are going to hopefully get this the right way. And as one final step, we're going to export this as a JPEG as well. Because one of the swap sites that I use will allow me to upload JPEGs of my scans. And I kind of want to do that because if I'm having problems with this sort of thing, other people will be having problems with this sort of thing as well. All right, we're going to close that off, export that. Cancel. A dialog comes up saying, hey, do this thing. And I got to make sure I actually do that thing. Discard those changes. All right, so we are going to open as layers. Here is the HD DVD case that we have. Here is the PNG that we just did. Right here. Oh, it annoys me to no end. I gotta crop this again. I don't know why it does this. Sometimes it'll save it as a big white canvas rather than actually saving the thing I wanted. What I want to do I don't want this damn white space is what I don't want. So hold on, let me back out of this. No, discard all those changes. Discard all those changes. Why doesn't this do what I want it to do? I know why. I know exactly why, because I didn't do the thing it asked me to do. It asked me if I wanted to save the project instead of just the JPEG, and I said cancel. I said no. So we want to save the project. Save. So he says we're just going to save it. And we'll work with that the way it is. All right, we saved. Now this should do what I want. It should just be the thing. It is. Working with the we're going to select that layer, and then we'll snap it to our guidelines. Usually that means you have to take it in a little bit here and there, but oh, just like that. Hit enter, you'll scale it up, and now it's pretty. It's very readable text. I'm quite happy with how readable it is. In fact, if you zoom in with me, you'll see how readable it is. It's very readable. It's like the original. You can see all the stuff. Tiny bit of skin creep down here, but this is a movie you should watch too. It's amazing. It's about well, like it says here, about Iwo Jima, and the raising of the flag. This image, this iconic image, was actually the second picture that they took that day. Covered in the movie, it's covered in the books, covered all the way around. But now, for us, it's covered like this. So we are going to save this. Save as. So we know which one it is. We're going to flatten this image. Save it again. You do this a lot when working with images, just to make sure that you've got exactly what you want on the screen, the way you want it to look. All right. Now, I don't have any problems at all with the DVD picture that I used before. So I'm going to open that up. Which should be in the source material that I used before. No, I don't want that one. Fuck you. Pardon my French. Don't take the first one that pops up. Take the one you actually want. Go back to... All right, so somewhere in here, if I sort this by name, there'll be one of these for Flags of Our Fathers. And for the record, it is from this right here, my DVD copy of Flags of Our Fathers, which I got from the swap site to complement my HD DVD. And all of this stuff here, right? All of Flags of Our Fathers. This one. All right. Now I've got a document with two layers, the front and the back. We're going to export this as a PDF. I exported it to the wrong folder because I'm an idiot with a microphone. And I could have fixed the export but instead I'm just going to have to move it from where it is and while we're at, we'll move some other stuff out of here. These things don't belong in here anymore. Yeah, all right. And I made a PDF just like the other one here. So Flags of Our Fathers, it should say flags. EFG flags, here we go. Oh, did it not work? Okay. Let's export that again. Gimp is crashing. It does this. Yeah, Gimp is absolutely crashing. Let's close that program, restart the program, and we'll print this out for real. It's really the act of cutting the case out of the paper is what I want to get us to. All right. I should really make that open up over here if I'm going to stream it. There we go. Okay. Do that same thing again. Open his layers. So we've got the DVD version. We've got is this what I actually want? I don't think this is what I want. No, that's the old one. We don't want this one. That's the old one. This card changes. So we'll just do it again. No worries. We know how. I absolutely saved this. I don't know why it's an issue. It's still in this components folder? No, it should be there. All right, so we're getting really good at it. So we'll just do it again. All right. We're going to snap this to our guidelines. Good there. Save as. Very important to save in the right folder so that you don't have to do what I just did and recreate your work. Because now it's saying that it's there. You want to replace it. And then we're going to flatten this image. Save it again. Open its layers. We should have this DVD right here. Yeah. We want the HD to be page 1 of our PDF. I'll show you why in a moment. I do want to replace that. Now you get a dialog here. Oh, look at that. No, we don't want that. We don't want the reverse order. We want the orders that are here, like we are. Our masks. There we go. We want to do all these things. If the layer after, I don't use alpha channels. So I'm not smart enough for that. Okay. I saw the dialog go down here. Image exported. Excellent. So let's go find that image. It's this one. Looks like this. And this is the opposite of what I want. No, this is exactly what I want. So this is page 1. This is page 2. So it's going to print page 1 on the shiny side of the paper. Page 2 on the not shiny side of the paper. And we're just going to print. There's my printer, the HP Envy Photo. You see how the DVD is a little wider than the case it's going into. That's all right. We're going to clip off the sides of this when we cut the paper, so there'll be a nice seamless bit on the inside. And you can hear the printer going. And for the record, this is the one I made before. To get this to work in these cases, I actually had to use a little insert, because the HD DVD is a 2-disc set. So I use a variety of inserts, but these work the best. It's a simple plastic bag with a cloth backing to protect the discs. So I want disc 1 up there, and this is the DVD there. Normally, I would always put the highest quality disc in the prime spot here, but because this is a 2-disc set, I want to make sure that the HD DVD discs stay together, as it were. I have a variety of options for these discs. I could just use these really nice cases for the HD DVDs. In fact, this is my go-to for a while, because these have a spot for 2 discs in them, and you put the insert here and it folds around the edge, and instead of a 6mm case like this is a 2mm case when all is said and done, but you can't read the spines. You can't read the spines, and so they're hard to come across. All right. Again, this is a really nice one. I was actually very happy with this one. This did everything I asked of it to do. It had the red background, it had HD DVD on it, so you knew exactly what you're dealing with. Had a really nice high quality scan. Backside here, as I mentioned, it's got the DVD case. It's very readable. It's not glossy because it goes on the inside of the case, not the outside of the case. But the bits here on the outside are going to bother me. Specifically, it's going to bother me because they are not uniform. And that means a lot. All right. So here's fresh out of the printer. You see I've got paper on the outside. That's good. It gives us a place to go to cut for. Already I'm happier to see something that looks like an HD DVD case, which are hard to find these days. Believe me, I've looked. I don't have enough of the slim cases left to cover my entire collection. I have about 40, maybe 50 of the really, really cool, very thin HD DVD cases. But I don't have enough to cover the entire collection. Stopped making them, mainly because they stopped making HD DVDs. So now we are going to trim this up. And the reason why I mentioned only making 3 or 4 of these today is on occasion, when you cut the paper breaks. Didn't happen today, but a note, I missed my mark. I didn't hit it exactly how I wanted to hit it. That's on me. My eyes don't quite line up, and every so often I get things wrong. Did it again. Tiniest bit of white here on the outside. We're going to use scissors to cut that up, but it also means, since the edges aren't exact, these next 2 cuts will be tricky because I usually center the paper against the guides on the paper cutter. Now I have to eyeball it again. There's the tiniest bit of white at the top. We'll trim that up. All right, that's the best cut. Out of the 4 cuts I made, that's the one that makes me happiest. And you see here, there's a little ink on those pieces of paper. That's all right. It's not wasted ink. It's bonus ink. Okay. Where are my scissors? There's my scissors. They're right here. I used to do this all with scissors before I had the paper cutter. Oh, is that going to annoy me? I don't think it's going to annoy me as much as it should. I just need to trim away this tiniest bit of white on the outside, some of which is actually the interior of the paper, believe it or not. I'll be so careful not to trim away too much. We're taking a few extra bits. Now, I could do this with an X-Acto knife, right? The paper cut that I have has guides. I could do all this with the paper cutter, but I like the precision and control that scissors give me. Even for tiny, tiny cuts. Because like me, life is not precise. Life is not always ordered and regimented and perfect. Life is imperfect. So if there are tiny imperfections in a project, an arts and crafts physical project, it's fine. Because if it bothers me too much, I just redo it. You can do it again. Only time. I'm not being paid for this. This is for my personal pleasure. Plus, I get to listen to the sound of scissors against paper, which is one of my favorite sounds in the universe. There's rain. There's a cat purring. But then there's cutting away these tiny, tiny strips of paper, which I have to be careful of because my cats like to dive into the recycling bin and fool around with anything they find in there, which typically is paper cuttings. And you know what happens when you eat paper cuttings? They go in your stomach and they cost money. All right. So to review, we've got this one, which is serviceable. It's pretty. But we got this one, which is really pretty. And we like how pretty it is. Gonna put it into this case, which is double duty, right? I also know that I've only got 10 or so, maybe 12 of these red slim cases. By redoing the insert to simulate the actual photographic image look of an HD DVD case, I can use these clear ones, and I have a lot more these clear ones with devils on them. But I've also got, if I want to go all the way with this, I've got a ton of the black opaque ones where I just wouldn't need to do the back insert like this. And I would do another second step of photo manipulation where I would add a DVD logo to these spines. I'm not there yet. That's another video. That's me being even smarter and leveling up further. How this goes. So this is functionally identical to the case I had before, but it's better all the way around because I can read it. It takes up more of this, and very importantly, when it's on the shelf next to another one, the images line up. Because they are both cut to the same template, and they are using essentially the same guidelines, the images line up, the inserts aren't going to bother me, and I can Not wake up in the middle of the night thinking about, oh, I could do that better. I can do that better. Well, I can. I can do a lot of this stuff better. I don't, because I am an idiot with a microphone. It says so right there. That's what I am. Thank you for watching, everyone. That's an hour of my day. I'm not going to get back, and neither are you. But more importantly, oh, look at this. So it's this guy here, that's a robot. That is a robot. I don't like that robot popping up, sending space at me. No. No, get rid of that. Yeah, that's gone. I'm going to delete that from the record, let me tell you. That robot has no place on my live people stream. Anyway, I have been the idiot with the microphone. This has been Arts and Crafts. I'm making mo better DVD inserts because I can do better, and I should. For reference, I've still got the DVD insert and the HDVD insert because if it comes down to it, I can sell everything I own. I want to make sure I've got the best possible value for my collection. As I mentioned, I'm a science fiction author. I've got my books up on the website, rsentertainment.com, as you saw earlier. I'll drop a link in the comments here, but if you want to support the stream, why not like and subscribe, right? Why don't you get videos get notifications when I make more of these videos. I do analysis of movies like Flags of Our Fathers. I explore my media collection in a video series called So Here's the Deal. I also write games. So I play games, a lot of video games. I play video games. I talk about music. I talk about stuff that's important to me, like making DVD case inserts or unboxing stuff when it comes in. I'll be doing all sorts of things as the summer and year goes on. But thank you for watching, if you did, and you're not a robot like that guy right there. It even says non-existent. It says non-existent in the title of their account. That's bullshit. Non-existent accounts. I don't need that. I don't need that negativity in my life. I need to go have lunch. That's what I need to do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go have lunch. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And please, please like and subscribe to the video. If you want to buy some books from rsentertainment.com, there's a little bit about that coming up next. But thank you very much. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to support the stream, please like and subscribe on whatever platform you happen to watch it. But also, consider buying some books. rsentertainment.com is a progressive publisher that focuses on independent authors and the stories that they tell. We have a curated selection of novels in science fiction, fantasy, high fantasy, space opera, horror, just about any genre that we believe needs some support, and the authors that need to do so as well. You can find this website by using this QR code or by typing rsentertainment.com into your browser and head over to our shop where you can get a free book written by me, Scott James Magner, called Homefront. Homefront is my 2014 science fiction novel, which I've later expanded into the Homefront trilogy of Invasion, Landfall, and Beachhead. But to get a sample, just go here, select the ebook, and you see it's $0. Free book delivered to you, your email. All you have to do is sign up for our mailing. That's it. That's all you need to do. Thank you very much for supporting us here at the Idiot with a Microphone channel, and we'll see you soon.